Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I promised that I'd be here, and I am. Welcome to Fully Wired, episode number 5, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm very excited about this, though, but we are over here on Mixer.com/Samuel Adams. For those that don't know exactly what this is, it is a very exciting time where I do indeed hopefully have a camera on. Thank God! And it's also off a little bit. I was a little bit concerned about that. However, welcome to Fully Wired. I'm going to fix this real quick. We're just going to do a little bit of editing. Yeah, looking good. But Fully Wired is a variety show that I do every single Friday. And it used to be on twitch.tv/FullyWired, but now I think I'm going to try doing it on Mixer because I have faith that it might be a pretty good idea to start a variety show that is literally doing a doing a little something different. Yeah, skinny stream again. I have to adjust some of the video settings, and also I could probably just move my green screen. We're gonna do that right now. Says you're not live for me, so be right back. Need to refresh. Yeah, dude, you do what you need to do. Mixer is a blossoming, beginning, awesome new platform. So we're going to be definitely working through some of those technical issues. I'm gonna flip this around the other day. Hold on a sec. Hopefully I'll be able to get a little bit more green screen in on that. But today we have some amazing topics. And of course, this video is going to be exported to YouTube later on. And then I'll put the the chat on screen and we'll get all that stuff rolling next week. However, I woke up at 5:30 p.m. today, but I still caught the VOD from this morning. Dang, I am very impressed. I'm very impressed with that. Again, variety show that's going to be on Mixer every single Friday night right here at Mixer.com/Samuel Adams. Very excited about it. Today, we honor the founder of Atari and creator of Pong. We have a thing about digital license plates, which I thought was kind of interesting. We've got some Elon Musk stuff going down, a couple of weird stories that I thought I would run through. I have discovered The Onion recently. It's a spoof kind of online news source that I've really fallen in love with because it makes fun of general news and stuff like that. So I'm a big fan of The Onion. I thought I would read through one of the stories that I found there today. So we will be doing that, but I'll get everything hooked up correctly over the next couple of days and make sure that everything works very well. By the time the next episode of Fully Wired comes around, again, it's a growing thing. It's a thing that's changing. It's a thing we're working with. So, we will merge as we do. Can we talk about Maxi being back in Soul Calibur? I don't know that much about Soul Calibur, but it sounds like a good thing because it sounds like you're excited about that. So, more power to you. And I play Soul Calibur kind of in the same way that I play anything like Mortal Kombat or any kind of fighting game, really. It's just like I jump in and I see what it does, and then I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's go with it. Sounds pretty good. But we'll go ahead and jump into this first story that we have here today. Ted Dabney, a founder of Atari and creator of Pong, dies at 81. A pretty good long life, I would say. Ted Dabney left, and Nolan Bushnell, Fred Marinkick, and Alan Alcorn in 1973 with a Pong console at the Atari offices in Santa Clara, California. And so that's pretty much what you've got here. I don't like this whole thing popping up down at the bottom, but that's okay. So those are the guys that founded Atari and made Pong, which is pretty much the reason that I'm sitting here talking to you guys today. I probably would not be doing any kind of shows that are centered around gaming. I probably would not be doing any kind of thing like that if it was not for this guy that really did make Pong. And of course, Pong kind of rose up to become the go-to for what is a video game. It's Pong, that's literally it. But Samuel F. Dabney, an electrical engineer who laid the groundwork for the modern video game industry as a co-founder of Atari and helped create the hit console game Pong, died on May 26th at his home in Clear Lake, California. He was 81, so it was a couple of days back, actually, apparently, according to this article. It is the forefathers of gaming, like literally right there. This is why we all do what we do. If you stream on Twitch, if you stream on Mixer, if you look at YouTube videos that have to do with gaming, if you own a gaming console, these guys had a part in it, whether you realize it or not. That's what's amazing here. But the cause was esophageal cancer. Ooh, wow, I don't know what that is. But he had cancer. Of what part of the body, not entirely sure. But Carolyn Dabney did confirm that Mr. Dabney, known as Ted, brought arcade video games to the world with an Atari, a startup that he and a partner, Nolan Bushnell, founded in Sunnyvale, California in the 1970s. At a time when computers, the main arena then for programmers working to build games, could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars apiece, Mr. Dabney spurned them all together. Instead, he tinkered in a workshop he had set up in his daughter's bedroom and used plywood and fake mahogany paneling to build Atari's first consoles. Between your throat and stomach, there you go. See, look at Chad. Look at Chad bringing in the medical knowledge, but now we know. Mr. Dabney used cheap television components to create an interactive motion system, and in 1971, the world's first commercial video game, Computer Space. Although the game was a failure, it was followed the next year by Pong, you might have heard of it, a simple yet beguiling, I think is how you say that word, game in which short vertical lines bat a ricocheting dot back and forth to the sound of beep tones. At its peak, Pong was being played on 35,000 consoles in bars and game rooms across the United States. How about that, right? Very exciting. Quote, Ted came up with the breakthrough idea that got rid of the computer so you didn't have to have a computer to make a game work. Alan Alcorn, one of Atari's first employees, said in an interview this week, it created the industry. Literally, it created the industry. Samuel Frederick Dabney Jr. was born in San Francisco on May the 2nd, 1937, excuse me. Whoa, big difference there. His parents, Irma and Samuel Frederick Dabney, divorced when he was young, and he was raised by his father, an accountant, and brother Doug died in 2013, unfortunately. He did a whole bunch of other stuff. You can read the rest of the big, huge, long thing that he did with the rest of his life, because he did a lot throughout it. But the main thing here is that the founder of what I would consider to be the modern video game industry passed away earlier in the week. So I thought that we would take time to honor this, because literally without this guy, we wouldn't have Pong, we wouldn't have Atari. Well, we might have Atari, but it wouldn't be the Atari that we know today. That's what I'm trying to say here. Really just a very influential factor in everything, and I think that to just let this pass by and just to continue going on with our day-to-days is kind of one of those things where I wouldn't be the same person without without what Atari and Pong brought to the table. I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't have the career that I plan on going into. It's one of those situations where without this man, I wouldn't be even involved in gaming, and I probably wouldn't even be going to school for communications, because without him, we wouldn't even have podcasts that inspired me to talk about games. We wouldn't have anything that would really bring out that passion that I had. And so without this man, it's one of those, I'm connected to this. Also, Decky, hello, welcome on in, my friend. But so yeah, rip to the man, Samuel F. Dabney, because obviously without him, Ted was a big man, not big girth-wise, but like big as in the gaming industry. But Pong is fantastic, still played by millions around the world. It has become one of those games that you go back to time after time. Fun fact, whenever I was growing up at the PlayStation 1, and yes, I did grow up at the PlayStation 1, I had this Pong video game that was like a kind of a greatest hits of Pong, if you will. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like a remake of a couple of different Pong games. But the fact of the matter is, I grew up on Pong. A ton of people grew up on Pong, and it's one of those iconic games of the industry that wouldn't have been able to. We wouldn't have had the industry anyways. So, honor to Ted Dabney. Thank you for all you've done. You are amazing. And she is a woman of culture. Moving on to the next topic of the night. Elon Musk responds to Boeing's plan to put the first humans on Mars. He says, quote, "Do it." That's literally what he says. Once upon a time, the space race was all about the U.S. and Russia. Now it's about private companies competing for innovations and bragging rights. No accomplishment would be bigger than landing a human on Mars. Boeing says it will get to the red planet before SpaceX does. SpaceX founder Elon Musk had a short response to that idea. Do it. That's literally it. As I said, this mild war of words started when the Street interviewed Boeing CEO Dennis Muhlenberg, who told the publication, quote, "I firmly believe that the first person to step foot on Mars will get there on a Boeing rocket." The Street founder, Jim Cramer, shared this sentiment on Twitter, and Musk responded with his two-word statement, "Do it." Literally, I mean, Elon Musk is just the king of Twitter, in my opinion. It's fantastic. It is fantastic. But SpaceX says it wants to send a cargo mission to Mars in 2022, while targeting 2024 for a crewed mission using an advanced rocket system called the BFR. Musk sees this as the first step to creating a self-sustaining human civilization on Mars. There's a typo right here in the CNET article. It would be interesting if the SpaceX BFR arrived at Mars and found a Boeing rocket already there. Boeing is currently working with NASA on a space launch system meant to propel people and cargo, quote, beyond our moon and into deep space. Very exciting stuff here. So, of course, as time goes on, we're going to see more of this kind of thing happen. But Musk's short comment in response to the Boeing story may not be as chippy as it sounds at first. It is not a snipe, it's a challenge. There is a healthy spirit of competition in the commercial space race, which also involves Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin venture. A human crewed spaceship will eventually launch to Mars. Only time will tell if it's powered by Boeing, SpaceX, or Amazon Prime. No, it's just, I'm so excited about that. Can we send Trump to test the tech? We very well could. It's going to be huge. It's going to be us, not China. However, to have all of this competition, it's fantastic, and I kind of see this in the same way that I see any kind of healthy competition, because over the course of the past week, we've seen a lot of shifting around with people on Twitch and Facebook Gaming and Mixer and a whole bunch of people doing a whole bunch of different things, and that competition is healthy. We've already seen Twitch change their entire front page, not to get too off topic, but we've seen Mixer bring on people, we've seen Facebook bring on people. There's a lot of change going on right now, and that's because there is now literal competition that we did not have before. Complacency is a dangerous, dangerous thing. If you are becoming complacent at anything that you're doing, if you are good at playing guitar and you feel comfortable in playing guitar and you're really, really good at playing guitar, you need to push yourself more. If you feel comfortable playing a game, if you are really, really good at Call of Duty, you need to push yourself and become better at Call of Duty. Whatever it may be, whatever you do, be good at it. However, that's exactly what's happening here with the space race, which is literally a modern space race. You have SpaceX, you have the competition just coming out, Boeing, bringing it on. And this is what's going to propel us literally to Mars. We are going to be propelled to Mars, and things are going to change because the industry is forcing innovation in a way that we've never seen it be forced before. Change is great but scary, but fear is a natural part of life. It is, because it keeps you safe. And one thing that doesn't feel safe is launching yourself to a different planet. I'm good at eating, competitive eating. Here I come. There you go. You can go for that Joey Chestnut new shrimp record that was set earlier this week, which I may or may not have watched a little bit of live. I was very impressed with it. I liked what I saw. However, the space race is incredibly interesting because Elon Musk is killing it on pretty much every level. He's got Tesla, although they do run into police cars that are parked apparently. I'm just saying. You've got a whole bunch of other SpaceX stuff. You've got the boring company where you literally bore tunnels through a giant mountain. There's so much to do within Tesla and SpaceX that there's so much potential there with Elon Musk. But Boeing is Boeing, so you kind of have to, get into it. But Joey Chestnut actually had a, let's see, Joey Chestnut, it should be in the news, I think. The National Donut Day, he ate, oh, wait. You know what? We'll just focus on this one. I think he broke another record earlier in the week. I don't want to talk about it. We have... Hold on. We'll just jump over to this real quick. Hold on. We'll just jump over to this. But I am a Matt Stoney fan as well. I love his YouTube videos. National Donut Day is not over. And already competitive eating champion Joey Chestnut of San Jose has down... He's down 257 donuts. Oh my god. Okay, they were little ones, but still, in the first ever Hostess Donuts... Okay, you're a cheater, Joey Chestnut. That's at least 140 regular donuts. Hostess Donuts Eating Contest, the top-ranked Major League eater in the world, a.k.a. Joey Jaws, proved his prowess Friday in Philadelphia, besting 9 other eating champs, including number 2-ranked Carmen Kincotti and number 8, Darren Breeden. And did we mention these were powdered donuts? Oh my god, no. Oh my gosh, no. Naturally, contestants had liquids to assist in the power eating. And I don't know what else to say. This beginning the inaugural Donuts contest, 257 will be the world record to beat next year. It has been a busy season for Chestnut 34, who won a mutton slider contest in Kentucky and then a shrimp eating contest on Memorial Day aboard the Battleship Iowa in SoCal Sport of San Pedro. In the past week, this man has won 2 competitions. 2 competitions. Are you kidding me right now? Yeah, he better have a really good dentist. There's going to be a couple of things right there. Carmen is actually a dude. How about that? How about that? No judgment there. In a month, Chestnut will head to Coney Island to defend his 2017 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating title. If you want to go up against him, a preliminary heat to find new contestants will be held June the 16th at Six Flags in Vallejo. I do not want to go against a man who can eat that many hot dogs and that many donuts and that much shrimp. I want to tell you that right now. However, one thing I do want to say, obviously, going back to this and just wrapping this up, Elon Musk, going to be fantastic. The competition with Boeing is going to be fantastic. We could get to Mars, but you know who we should send to Mars? Freaking Joey Chestnut, man. Joey Chestnut. I envisioned a feisty Italian lady with the name Carmen. Oh, yeah. No, whenever I hear Carmen, I think Carmen Sandiego. But, this man right here has done some amazing things, and surprisingly enough, not a huge dude. He has to work out or have the metabolism of God. I don't know exactly how he is able to manage staying this size, but to be able to watch this dude eat 257 donuts, let alone powdered donuts, is mind-blowing to me. I love to watch competitive eating. If you want to go on YouTube and look up some competitive eating competitions, the guy named Matt Stoney that we were talking about earlier is fantastic. You've got Joey Chestnut. You've got Furious Pete is another really good competitive eater. Doesn't do too much competitive eating anymore, but he has in the past. And of course, if you do want to get really deep into the food side of YouTube, you can go and you can watch a couple of those food reviewers like Dame Drops, like Joey's World Tour. I wouldn't go down in the comment section of Joey's World Tour, not one that I would recommend, but very impressive stuff that I have seen from these guys. And impressive as in, like, I wouldn't want to do it, but like, I'm impressed that you can handle that much food. That's kind of where I'm coming from. Tell him that Mars bars came from Mars and they're going to do a Mars eating competition there. Exactly. That's how you get him there. That's how you get him there. Randy Santel, I think I've heard of him. But the majority of the guys that I've heard of over there from the competitive eating side of things are ones that I have heard announced in a Matt Stoney video, because Matt Stoney, in my opinion, is one of the most incredible competitive eaters, because he is this very, very small Asian man who wears a headband whenever he is doing his competitions, and it's just incredible to see this little small Asian dude eat like 76 pounds of Taco Bell or some amazing number like that. I don't know how he gets all of that food inside. Like, literally, I don't get it. Like, how much compression do your intestines have to take to get that much Taco Bell inside of you? Number two, how can you be that insane to get that much Taco Bell? Like, I wouldn't want even a fraction of that. That's way too much. But he might be holding back out of respect for Joey. He very well could be. However, I don't know. I feel like these guys that are into the competitive eating, I feel like whenever they become competitive eaters as a profession, there is no holding back. There is no mercy. You literally just go all in. You are giving it your all. And of course, you are literally eating as many donuts as you can. So it's not like you're actually giving, like, 110% of your donut eating potential, but you are literally giving 110% of your donut eating potential. But Joey Chestnut is definitely the number one guy, I would say. And then you'll see like these giant dudes. You'll see, no offense to anybody that is a competitive eater out there, but you see these giant dudes and they're over there just having a meal. They're just eating hot dogs and not even competing with the actual guy that is winning or in the lead. You'll always see that guy that's on the far left, like sitting over there, mustard, ketchup, just going at it, having a good time. He got through the preliminaries. He has eaten enough hot dogs to get forward into the competition and to be able to achieve what he needs to achieve. But exactly, it's free food, so why not? Go ahead and take your time, because you might as well. I mean, you made it this far, you've earned yourself a free hot dog or 7. I recall one competition where one dude entered as a joke and only ate 14 pieces of pot stickers or something like that. What is a pot sticker? That sounds pretty good, I must admit. It sounds like a crock pot kind of thing, maybe some chicken in there. I'm probably incredibly wrong. But you always have those guys that are on the sides. You have the guys that are serious in the middle, and then you put the guys over there on the sides in. So just as a kind of filler to make it look like more than 2 people actually want to go into this competition. It's a pan-fried dumpling-like thing. Okay. Dumplings are your boy's favorite. Not really, but I like dumplings. So if you want to watch Joey Chestnut, if you want to watch Joey Chestnut take on the hot dog eating competition, you just tune in a month from now, and we will be talking about it right here on Fully Wired. I guarantee you of that. But on top of that, you can watch it streamed live, I am sure, somewhere on the internet, maybe on somebody's cell phone or something like that. I'm not really sure. Maybe Matt Stoney will be streaming it because he usually does that kind of thing. Seems like hot dogs will be easier to get down, though, than powdered donuts. It's like a crescent roll with stuff in it. I think pot pie and a biscuit. Ooh. Okay, we're on there. We're on the same page now. So, yeah, I will definitely be tuning into the hot dog eating competition that I think is held on July the 4th, if I remember correctly. If I do remember correctly. I'm going to go to mixer.com/Samuel Adams and see what's in this chat. But if you guys that are watching later, if you've made it this far, number 1, wow, you're sticking through it. Number 2, if you want to join in on the live show, by all means, jump into the chat and catch up with the live show. But man, okay. I've seen these before. I've been acquainted with these a time or two in my life. I'm a big fan of those. But yeah, there's a really why are these green? I can get behind that. Looks crunchy. Chili crab pot stickers. I like crab and I like chili. Let's go, baby. But yeah, so back to the topic at hand. Elon Musk, doing some amazing things trying to get to Mars against Boeing. Moving on to the next story of the day. Anthem E3 announcements teased, new art revealed. I kind of incorporated some caffeinate kind of stuff into today's episode of Fully Wired just because there was so much news that came out that I thought I would go ahead and cover it over the weekend. And we might touch on it on Monday's episode of Caffeinate. We'll see what happens, but I did want to get it in here. BioWare has unveiled brand new key art for Anthem ahead of the trailer coming out on June the 9th. Check out the art below, and that's pretty much what you've got there. You guys can maybe see that. We'll see what goes on. Let me go over here and give you guys that full screen just so we can get the full gist of what you can expect to experience here. Really impressive graphics, impressive art that looks like it's going to be a poster that I can buy at Target whenever the game does come out. So, you got jetpacks, you've got pretty much the world that we've seen within the trailer, what appears to be maybe an enemy in the top portion. I feel like it's definitely a menacing kind of look to him. So we'll see what goes on with that, but I digress. Original story follows. We're finally going to get more of BioWare's upcoming action RPG with a newly announced trailer dropping on June the 9th. The news came via the game's official Twitter account and has been roused back to life this week with the impending arrival of E3 2018. The tweet is a short cinematic teaser for a live stream scheduled on Saturday, June the 9th. And again, here is what that looks like. If we can get it to load, maybe we can. Oh, there we go.
Something is out there. It wants to destroy destroy us all.
Something is out there and it wants to destroy us all. I don't want any part of that. I don't want any part of that. But Alan, I hope you get your internet working, my friend. The reveal is part of EA Play, a 3-day event at the Hollywood Palladium, running from June the 9th to the 11th. EA will unveil a brand new trailer, some more gameplay, and an in-depth look at the combat, specifically the Javelin exosuit. The devs will also be on hand to talk about the game's development and show off some concept art we can expect to hear from BioWare General Manager Casey Hudson, Executive Producer Mark Dara, and lead writer Kathleen Root-Sart. I think is how you say that. I am terrible with names. But you can shoot your router. I'm not going to buy you another one, though. After its announcement at E3 of 2017, Anthem was confirmed for a 2019 release. BioWare is reportedly focusing on more story this time around after the lack thereof in Mass Effect Andromeda. You can get a refresher on everything you know by clicking the link on IGN and see what you got going on there. But Anthem is one of those games where people are very excited about it, but I need more meat to it before I can really dive into it and really get behind it. There's so much that I want Anthem to be. I've heard that it's going to be a Destiny-style looter shooter. I've heard that we're going to be getting a lot of that. So I kind of want to see more of it. I'm interested in it, but I'm not entirely on board with the idea of another game like this. And the way that the development's gone, I've heard some bad things, but I have faith that Anthem is going to be good. I have faith that it's going to be a fantastic game. It's just that EA cannot do another Star Wars Battlefront 2. EA cannot pull another Mass Effect Andromeda. There is not enough room in their catalog. There is not enough room for that in my life whenever it comes to EA and other places like that. You just can't mess this one up because we've had 2 failures in a row from EA. I mean, a couple of winners here, but I want this to be the Titanfall of looter shooters. I want this to be the game that I think, man, that was a good game. That's what I want from this. Is this the game that is sort of like Monster Hunter World meets Fallout with jetpacks? Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much what you're getting within the world of Anthem. So I'm excited about that, but you definitely want to have a backup router if you plan on shooting your own. And we'll see what goes on with it. Again, we'll see more at E3 of 2017, and we have 3 days of this kind of content coverage coming around EA titles with EA Play, so I'm sure we'll be getting some maybe off-screen gameplay that somebody records illegally. I'm sure that we'll be getting some kind of info about what exactly the game does entail, so we'll see what goes on. I don't know that much about it, but it does appear that this might be the Javelin suit that they're talking about focusing on. So I'm excited to see more, and of course, I will be covering all of this both on Mixer.com/Samuel Adams and also on YouTube.com/Samuel Adams Media. So we will see what ends up going on with that, but I'm very excited to see what EA is bringing to the table, both with Anthem and their other titles that they're planning on showing off at the show itself. And a lot of videos are going to be made. I'm making a lot of videos whenever it comes to everything that they're showing off at this year's show. Speaking of E3 coverage, you can join Mixer for some E3 coverage if you did want to. Now, I will say that YouTube is also covering it. You've got stuff on Twitch. You've got a ton of people that are doing a lot of coverage of the show itself. So, you know, don't just think that you're stuck watching it on Mixer, but it's a good option if you did want to do so. So essentially, E3 Mixer runs June the 9th through the 14th. It's time for the biggest gaming event of the year, E3. This year, Mixer will be showing up in a big way. Join us as the world watches the announcements of the hottest titles and trends in gaming. If you're at home, Mixer will be the best way to experience E3. Bold statements here, bold statements. Catch all of the latest news, announcements, demos, and gameplay coming live from briefings and showcases all the way to the E3 show floor from Saturday, June the 9th through Friday, June the 15th. Let Mixer be your one-stop shop for all things E3 related. It's never been easier to find the latest and most exciting content live from E3. Head to e3.mixer.com to find a full schedule of everything to watch during the week of E3 if you did want to do that, including press conferences from some of the biggest names in gaming: EA, Microsoft, Bethesda, PC Gamer, Ubisoft, and Square Enix. Notably missing PlayStation and Nintendo, but your boy going to try to remedy that. Pre- and post-show reactions from your favorite media outlets, IGN, Giant Bomb, and more. Live coverage from Fortnite Celebrity Pro-Am and E3 Coliseum hosted by Jeff Keighley. Daily action from the Mixer stage to bring you exclusive announcements, first-look gameplay, developer interviews, and a few more surprises. And on top of that, there's also going to be some mix pots, which essentially are DLC packs that are showed off during the show that you can use in your games with Xbox products, I believe, specifically. For those attending E3, Mixer's booth will be in the South Hall of Los Angeles Convention Center. Come check us out to get hands-on with a few of the hottest titles straight from the show floor. We are also bringing back the Hype Zone Live, featuring a brand new Battle Royale game that they have not shown off anywhere else before. Very exciting as well. So There are also going to be Mixer partners that are showing off what is happening at the show via the show floor, via the official Mixer Create app. So if you want to get in on the show floor perspective, you can check out the stuff that Mixer has going on over here on Mixer.com. It's e3.mixer.com again if you did want to check that out. Again, not sponsored, not affiliated, just streaming on the platform. Thought I'd show you guys what they are bringing to the table. But it's going to be cool to see the partner experiences. I think that if they are good enough entertainers and good enough, hosts, which most streamers do tend to be whenever they hit partnership, then they should be able to bring something pretty cool to the table. I know that this year at E3, there are restrictions that are had depending on who you are. Like, you can't just stream from the show floor willy-nilly. You kind of have to have a pre-approval kind of thing and get approved to actually go live from the show floor. So those that do get to go live are probably going to be the ones that are really doing some amazing stuff. So we'll see what goes on with that, but I'm excited about Mixer at E3, and I'm excited about E3 overall, as I've been saying the past couple of days. But the general, schedule here is that on Saturday, you've got the EA press conference. On Sunday, you've got Xbox and Bethesda. On Monday, you've got Square Enix, Ubisoft, Inside Xbox, and PC Gaming. Then on Tuesday, you have Mixer Live at E3 starting at 9 a.m. The Fortnite Pro-Am starts at 3:15 that day, and Mixer is going live at E3 again on 9 a.m. or at 9 a.m. on June the 13th and the 14th, which is next Wednesday and Thursday. So if you want to get some free DLC, if you want to check out the newest Battle Royale game that is going to be covered during the Hype Zone Live, if you want to do any of that stuff, then check out the website and see if there's something there for you. I will probably be trying to stream all of the press conferences and kind of watch along with those that want to watch live. I'll be doing a web show format, as you see here, but I do want to get in on the hype. I just don't know what is allowed on Mixer. It's very unclear. I know that whenever I was watching the Level Up cast earlier today, there were a lot of questions in the chat as to what we could actually do with E3 content. Can we co-stream it? Can we host it? If we add enough commentary, is it okay if we go ahead and become part of the show itself? I don't know. I've reached out to Mixer via a DM on Twitter, but I haven't heard anything official yet. I would love to be your host of E3 if you do know what I'm talking about. I've done that on Twitch before in the past, and I would love to move all of that over to Mixer and then export that to YouTube. But I don't know what exactly is possible. So we'll see what goes on with it, but I do want to get more info on that before I ruin any chance of being on the good side of people over here at Mixer. So I'll be doing as much coverage as I possibly can live right here on Mixer. If I can't, then I might move over to YouTube and do some stuff over there. Of course, YouTube videos, streams, Twitter, all throughout the week, but very exciting stuff. Also, Alan, get some Band-Aids on those eardrums, my friend. That sounds like a big, big problem for you. But moving on to the next story of the day, fix the lack of outrun in your life with Slipstream, it's a good-looking game, I must admit. Drift the pain away in this gorgeous synthwave racer. And there's a screenshot that I thought was really beautiful, and one that I actually want to look into. It's a great shame that you can't buy Outrun on Steam, GOG, or any of the digital distribution services. Not since the mysterious disappearance of Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast. Outrun is such a pure, uncomplicated arcade masterpiece, letting you experience the joy of skidding past traffic as you race along winding roads, blasting out the absurdly and thus perfectly named magical sound shower. But while we were severely lacking in Outrun, we do now have Slipstream, and it is almost as good. And it does look like the old Daytona, if I do say so myself. You drive as fast as you can across roads, racing towards a checkpoint before your timer runs out. Hit 1, and your time is extended, and you choose whether to go left or right in a new area. And then you do it all again and again until you visited 5 locations and win. Yes, it is the exact structure of Outrun. Slipstream is a brash, confident game, and that means it's wearing its inspirations on its sleeves and on its chest, and basically has a full-body suit, a second skin to be modified and adjusted to it. The game looks so freaking good. There are 4 buttons, left and right keys handle steering, X is accelerate, C is brake, except you should never brake, obviously. Braking is for cowards, but for people who don't deserve the joy. Instead, you tap the brake and immediately accelerate, launching into a drift that defies physics by making you go faster. Gotta go fast, man. The trick to being good at Slipstream is smoothly controlling the drift and navigating around traffic as you skid. It is tricky to master, but feels good regardless. Even occasional I thought it said suckiness. Even occasional success feels good enough to persist. Also, this is very important. Look how damn good it looks. Do you see this game right here? Do you see how good this game looks? I'm going to be playing this without a doubt. I love the way it just looks fun, it just looks fun. I'm sorry, it just does. I found the standard arcade mode, i.e. the classic Outrun experience, pretty difficult even once I started to get the hang of drifting, but it is gratifying to see your improvement reflected in the distance you travel, and there are similar progression markers throughout that hold your interest, such as rivals who challenge you in each zone. The Grand Prix mode feels more immediately manageable. It's a series of races around a single track with no traffic, letting you practice your technique without worrying about Sunday drivers interrupting your flow. Arguably, the weakest part of Slipstream is the system it's named after. Get behind another car, and the word Slipstream is spelt out in the bottom corner of the screen. When it completes, you get a boost of speed. It's a fine idea, only seems useful when I'm trying to regain speed after a crash. In those situations, it's handy, but not so revelatory that it feels worth naming the entire game after. Even so, Slipstream is well worth your time. After all, it's basically Outrun, and Outrun is great. So, if you'll notice around me with like the home screen of everything you're seeing with the intro and all this stuff, I'm a big fan of the Outrun kind of look. I'm a big fan of the techie kind of thing. Obviously, I like that kind of setup. So to see a game like this coming out, I'm a big fan of the retro. I'm a big fan of retro wave music. Synthwave music is fantastic. Outrun is doing some amazing things. But to see Slipstream kind of bringing that back into the mix, very impressive stuff, and I'm going to be giving this one a shot. I'm unsure of how much it is. Let's give that a quick go back to the pot stickers. Slipstream game. I want to see. It is $10 on Steam. I mean, it's freaking $10 on Steam to get an experience that looks like a classic Outrun game. It's got very positive reviews. I mean, obviously. I mean, look at this. It is. Hold on. We're gonna go full screen. I've got to show you guys exactly what this is. It looks so good. I'm gonna get some. Look at that. Huh? How do you like that, man? It looks so good, and it moves so smoothly. I would love this on PS4 especially. I would love to be able to get some thumbsticks on this action. But the music is so good. Everything about it just looks Oh, I love it. I love it. The hills, the valleys, the troughs, the drifting. Oh. And the soundtrack is great. Yeah, I'm probably going to be picking this one up after the stream, actually. And I'm probably going to be streaming a bit of this over here. I might play some games and demos, if you will. But man, does that look so good that I can barely contain my excitement. The answer is indeed a resounding yes. So if that sounds like something you might be interested in, I would recommend checking it out. $10 on Steam is not a bad deal. And of course, it is probably going to be on sale at some point in the next couple of weeks with E3 sales rolling out. The Steam sale for June, the 21st, is coming up very quickly. So if you want to wait on that, it might be a couple of bucks off. But it's totally worth the $10 that is being asked for here. I think this is a genuinely awesome game. It's got very positive reviews. And the developer and publisher is apparently like one dude, maybe, I suppose. So I'm going to be checking this one out. And I'm probably going to stream it later on in the week. So keep an eye out for that. Very excited about that. So, you know, more games at E3. Or you can just play Slipstream. Sounds like a pretty good idea to me. Moving on to the next story of the day. 30-year-old leaves the nest after parents win court-ordered eviction. Now, this is a story that I heard about earlier in the day that I found to be pretty impressive, actually, overall. So, to give you guys a background, essentially, this guy was living with his parents for obviously 30 years. He's been there since birth. He is continuing to live there, and his parents were trying to kick him out of the house because no one likes being the parent of a 30-year-old that is living at home. I'm sorry. It's just true. That's getting into your, like, you know, upper years. You want to be able to enjoy retirement. So they have sued the man to get him out of their house because they own the property. They can evict him if they want. They can kick him out, and it seems like they have won. It is a milestone so common that it has become a Hollywood trope. The son packs his things, carries all those vestiges from his former life across the threshold of the front door, and with the unwavering encouragement of his parents, finally leaves their house to face the wider world. It's a little less common for that son to be 30 years old, and still less common for his parents' encouragement to take the form of a court order. But here we are. Wow. Michael Rotondo, the man evicted after months of wrangling with his parents, complied Friday, with the ruling that a county Supreme Court justice handed down last week. Local media report he left the house in Camillus, New York, just 4 hours before his high noon deadline to depart. Then he came back to grab a few more things, but he did leave again, this time with 2.5 hours to spare, and this time with the aging car that had become a focal point of the roughly half dozen messages his parents wrote him before going to court. The hatchback got a little help from some jumper cables, and Rotondo offered the members of the media gathered outside a tasteful honk of the horn before leaving the block. I love it so dang much. That honk lent a valedictory note to what had become a whining saga that NPR's Bill Chappelle recounted last week. Could be Chappell, could be Chappelle. I'm just going to roll with it. First, in October, there were the informal discussions about leaving the house. Then, beginning in February, there were the notes that escalated from a little financial motivation to formal orders to leave. And finally, after an original 30-day deadline lapsed, there was the confrontation in a court itself. Rotondo argued, that he had the right to stick around a while longer. His parents said it was a time to go, and ultimately, on a Onondaga County Supreme Court Justice Donald Greenwood sided with Rotondo's mother and father. Quote, "You say you're entitled to 6 months, which really seems to be kind of outrageous," Greenwood said, "that somebody in this day and age could be in somebody else's home with a 6-month notice before they have to leave." Conclusive as it was, that decision didn't resolve the friction shortly after the ruling was rendered. International media took notice, and so did the writers of think pieces and comment board diatribes everywhere. The word millennial got some good exercise. Dang it. And sadly, other Michael Rotondos got caught in the crossfire, including one who happens to hail from central New York and Albany. Quote, "Being from upstate New York, with the same spelling of the name, being the same age, and basically actually very coincidental, happened to be looking for a place. It has been a crazy, crazy ride," the other Rotondo told CNY Central, there we go, on Thursday. Quote, "I am not getting sued by my parents. I love my parents," he said, adding one more for good measure. "Again, I have not been sued by my parents. It seems, my friend, you have in fact been sued by your parents." This week went no more smoothly for Rotondo or his parents, according to Syracuse.com. The publication reports that a stranger called him on the phone with just a single word, "loser," before hanging up, prompting Rotondo to call 911. But it wasn't the only 911 call placed this week by Rotondo, who reportedly lost the visitation rights to his own child last year. This is actually sad. That's kind of really disappointing, actually. But that is all in the rearview mirror. For now, Rotondo says he is off to an Airbnb. "It is not great to have to be here anymore," he had told Syracuse.com outside his parents' garage Thursday. Asked whether that marks a dramatic change in his thinking given his recent hard-fought court battle, Rotondo answered succinctly, "Sort of." Well, you don't have an option, man. You better get used to it. But this brings the question of when are you supposed to move out of your parents' house? You know, when is the right time to be able to leave? And I would say that if you are in college, like I am, then it's okay to live here for a while. It's okay to be part of it all. It's okay to, become part of the experience and to live your life and save money. However, at age 30, it's time to really get out there. I mean, there are 30 years old with, you've got mortgages and families and babies and like, nieces and nephews, and you're supposed to be established by the point that you're 30, for the most part. So to still be living with your parents is just kind of one of those things where it's time to go, man. It's just time to get out of the house. So as time has gone on, we have seen that be the case, and they have officially evicted the man from his childhood home as he backs out of the driveway, as we can see right here. So farewell, Mr. Rotondo. You need to get to the Airbnb and successfully achieve whatever you need to achieve. But in Asia, it's accepted to live with your parents, but as the caretakers instead. Well, that's one thing, if you are actually putting in a lot of the effort on the relationship and being part of the household, that's a different thing entirely. However, when it comes to just living at home and you get a free meal and a free place to stay without having to pay rent, then I have an issue with that. You've got to be able to pull your, weight or whatever you want to say. Today, I still live at home. I do chores. I do things that my mom needs me to do. I do a ton of things to be able to at least pull my weight and not be a burden on them. But it sounds like this man has been a burden on his parents to some degree, or at least it's time for him to go. And at 30, I would hope that my parents would love me enough to kick me out of the house at that point. However, I digress. Maybe that's just my opinion. You'll have to let me know what you guys think. But the dude is just a douche. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that the guy that called him on the phone probably really did nail exactly what most of us are thinking whenever he called and said one word, "loser," before hanging up. I feel like that one's going to stick with him for a while, but imagine the embarrassment of being the dude that, number one, is living at the parents' house, but number two, is actually defending himself living in the parents' house, and he has got international media covering the fact that he is still a hermit that lives at home with his mother. Why would you put yourself through that? There is, if you are single, if you're a single father and you're trying to take care of your daughter, you aren't going to be able to get any kind of maybe another girlfriend. You're not going to be able to get anybody to come and hang out with you because you're that guy that still lives with his parents that was being covered on the news in Europe and stuff. I don't understand how you can live with yourself like that. However, I thought I'd let you guys know that the 30-year-old does, in fact, need to leave the nest, and he did, in fact, leave the nest. But as I said, I have discovered The Onion over the course of the past week, and I am very happy with what I have discovered. Washed up former spelling bee champion sitting in front of TV, sadly mouthing along with Scripps contestants. Again, The Onion is one of those fake news sites where, huge fake news, Roseanne, all that good stuff. Dayton, Ohio, grumbling in quiet disbelief as he watches a 12-year-old struggle through the third syllable of molluscivorous Former Scripps Spelling Bee champion Alex Vinay spent Thursday afternoon sitting in front of the TV and mouthing bitterly along with the current Scripps contestants. "Come on, seriously, it's so clearly a Latin root, dipshit," said Vinay to himself, rolling his eyes and shaking his head at the struggles of eventual runner-up Nisa Modi, 12, of Frisco, Texas, while mopping up a spilled Miller High Life with a faded Scripps 2012 official participant t-shirt that he had long since outgrown. "Back when I was in the B, they actually worked to make it a challenge. Now, it's like the whole Scripps organization down has gone right down the shitter. I mean, look at this kid. You really need lugubrious used in a sentence twice? You want the judges to come on stage and wipe your ass for you too? Moron." At press time, Vinay had reluctantly torn himself away from the competition, and as his mother called him upstairs for dinner. No, this is a fake story. This is not actually something that happened. These are just funny stories. But, I love this. I mean, this one over here, inconsolable Jeff Sessions tries to commit suicide by smoking a joint. Okay, that's just funny comedy, and I love that kind of thing. But no, The Onion is a fantastic source of just hilarious fake news. It's also connected to things like Gizmodo and stuff like that. But it's so good just to be able to see these stories come about in the day and time that we live in. I am very proud that we are able to have this kind of journalism. I know it's fake. I know that it's not real news. It's fake news, some may say, but man, is that stuff funny. I love the fact that he was also wiping up a spilled Miller High Life with a faded Scripps 2012 official participant t-shirt. That is the best part of that entire story. But I thought that was a hilarious one to throw in there. The next story is actually one that is real, coming to us from NPR. Digital license plates roll out in California, and I don't know how this works. A digital license plate made by Bay Area company Reviver Auto is displayed at the company's headquarters on May 30th in Foster City, California. The plates have the ability to track cars and play ads. California is testing new digital license plates on vehicles, opening up a new possibility and raising new privacy concerns. The digital plates use the same technology behind Amazon's Kindle ebook reader to display large letters and numbers as any other license plate would, but the devices are also able to show ads and personal messages and send data about their locations. Sacramento is the first city to agree to test the tech. The city government received a shipment of 24 electric Chevy Bolts last week featuring the new plates, according to the Sacramento Bee. The plates are going on sale at dealerships in California and in pilot in Arizona this month. The website of Reviver Auto, the company behind the plates, features a map of where the devices are available. It currently shows car dealers in the San Francisco Bay Area, Sacramento, and around LA. You won't be able to buy them at the DMV. The Verge notes that California requires both front and rear plates, and the digital plates are allowed on their car's rear side only for now. Reviver Auto says it plans to introduce digital plates in Florida and Texas later on this year. I thought this was really neat. Chad, this opens up opportunity to hack and change numbers, not to mention stalking. It does this as well. That's freaking insane. Peeps going to be hacking the plates. Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. However, I don't know. It's one of those situations where in my mind, if it's not broken, why are you trying to fix it? You know, I'm not over here trying to innovate on my license plate. It literally is just the same string of numbers that I've had for the past, I don't know, 5 to 6 years of my life, probably more than that, but I don't know why we need anything other than a piece of metal that identifies my car. That seems very secure. I mean, somebody can steal my tag, but still, it seems as secure as it gets for a general license plate. But the Kindle ebook thing is a pretty good idea. I must admit that tech is really cool. If you've never seen an e-ink book, it's really impressive stuff. You can find them in Kindles. You can find them in, let's see, what else are they in? The Nook, I think is what it is. The Barnes & Noble Nook, maybe? Something along those lines. Can you get demonetized for the ads if your license points merit decrease too much? Oh, that'd be bad. You are no longer a YouTube partner. Your license plate has been demonetized. But the e-reader thing is really cool. I like where it's going. I just don't know that the execution is necessarily in the best format. So we'll see what goes on with it, but I'm very excited about the future of maybe automobiles. I feel like this is a very Tesla kind of thing. This is a very forward-thinking Tesla kind of thing, and I would like to see more of this. However, not necessarily one that's going to be on my bumper. I don't like this at all because, again, you can hack it. You can be framed for something you didn't do. On top of that, you can hack it yourself and have a completely different license plate, and that is very, very illegal, so I don't like any of that. But it's happening. The future is now. They'll cost $6.99, by the way, for individual consumers, plus installation, as well as a monthly fee of about $7. So if you want to pay $700 for a license plate, then you can go ahead and jump in on that. For me, probably not going to be doing that because $700, I can definitely use that in a very different way. I mean, a Kindle is like $60. I was thinking this might be $100. That's a lot of money. So maybe as time goes on, you'll be getting more people that adopt the tech and maybe change it up a little bit and make something that's a bit different. I suppose we'll see. But I will definitely keep an eye on this and see if it's something that does end up rolling out to other states as it goes through testing in Texas and Florida and stuff like that. So we will see what goes on with that. So yeah, Reviver Auto, if you did want to Google that and see what was happening with it. Also, I know in a lot of in NC, a lot of prisons make the plates, so that gives them something to do too. Next up, what is coming to Netflix in June of 2018? Now, there's a lot of stuff coming out on Netflix, and I thought that I would go through and kind of hit the highlights. As far as movies go, you do have 101 Dalmatians and Tarzan coming out. You got The King's Speech, which was a fantastic movie, and Star Wars The Last Jedi, which I still have not seen. On top of that, you have Season 8 of Portlandia, Grey's Anatomy, you got Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, I think is what it's called, and The Break with Michael Wolff, or Michelle Wolf, excuse me, if you did want to check those out. However, the number one movie that is being added in the month of June, you have National Treasure, okay? This movie is a national treasure. Nicolas Cage is a national treasure. We have National Treasure again coming out on Netflix. Very excited. But here's the full list. I'm not going to read through all of them, but of course we have, as we said, National Treasure. We've got 101 Dalmatians going through. That's about all on June the 1st. I'm not seeing anything. The Departed is a pretty good one, I do believe. Samuel L. Jackson is also a global treasure, but unfortunately not in National Treasure. Fun fact, not in National Treasure. But you got The King's Speech, as we said, coming out. You've got Marvel Studios Thor Ragnarok. I need to watch that one. I've heard good things about that. You've got, let's see, nothing on June the 8th that's really worth talking about. Cutie and the Boxer, I think I've heard of, but you've got Queer Eye Season 2, Voltron, Legendary Defender Season 6, if you want to check that out. Nothing else. Luke Cage Season 2 coming out on the 22nd. Cooking on High. There you go, Decky. Might be in on that. Netflix can suck it. Indeed, it seems like they are sucking it because there's not too much. Hotel Transylvania Season 1. I thought that was a shitty movie with Adam Sandler. What? Okay. Star Wars Last Jedi on June the 26th, and then on the 29th, you've got, nothing significant, and then on the 30th you've got also, guess what, a big plate full of nothing significant. So if you want to subscribe for National Treasure or Star Wars, then but I had no idea they had a TV show. I remember watching Hotel Transylvania. I used to hang out with a group of people that loved animated movies and also loved going to the movies in general. I did not like going to the movies, but I hung out with those people anyway. So I went and I watched Hotel Transylvania in person. Probably one of the biggest wastes of my mother's money that I've ever had as a child, but I digress. You know, if you are into that kind of thing, you can check out the TV show that is coming to Netflix in the next couple of weeks. The Last Jedi, man, that movie bored me to sleep within 10 minutes, really. I will definitely have to check that out and see what it is bringing out, but I never watched that. Oh, wait, no, Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. All right, I have redeemed my reason for having Netflix, but yeah, I haven't been a big fan of the newer Star Wars movies. I watched a little bit of Rogue One a couple of weeks back whenever I was sick, and I enjoyed it, sort of. It was okay. It was kind of switching things up. I was pretty proud of the way that it was doing, but it wasn't anything that was really pushing the boundary of what I expected from Star Wars. So with that, I'm not super pumped about this, but I will definitely watch at least some of Star Wars The Last Jedi. I am not making promises on the entire thing, without a doubt. I probably can't do that. But we have that as well, and I think that about wraps it up for today's episode of Fully Wired. There I am talking. There's a lot of me's. I'll leave that up for a minute so you guys can enjoy that. We cut off our Netflix years ago. We have Hulu with Live TV and Amazon Prime. I mean, we have Amazon Prime as well, and I think I have Hulu because it comes with my Spotify subscription. But yes, indeed, I am going to be checking this stuff out and just seeing what it has and what it brings to the table. But I'm pretty pumped, and I suppose I'll see if The Last Jedi is worth actually looking into. But probably not. Probably not going to be too big of a fan of it. But check out Screen Rant's pitch meeting on those movies. I definitely will. I'm excited to get into the reviews of some of these things. I need to watch more movies because I started doing the trivia night thing last Wednesday, where I am the host of a trivia night. And excuse me. But I host a trivia night, and the focus last week was on movies. And I knew none of these movies that I was talking about. I literally knew none of them. So, I need to be able to identify what movies things come from. I really need to be better about doing that kind of thing. So we'll definitely check that out. I don't want to watch the YouTube stuff that is being linked right now, because I do understand that I do have a couple of, copyright things. I don't want to get into the rules on that, but I will watch it directly after the stream. But again, this has been a short episode of Fully Wired. I think I might go to sleep right now, wake up in the morning, and play some games right here on Mixer.com/Samuel Adams. I think that's a good idea. But again, it was a short episode. I was trying to watch a movie. I wanted to tell you about the movie. No, not Fortnite. Probably not Fortnite. Probably more Battlefield 1. But the movie that I was watching was called Cargo. I want to show you guys this movie. It is really, really, really good. I think that's it. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so Cargo. This is a movie about a man and his wife and their child who are apparently sailing down this river in the middle of what appears to be Australia or something like that, according to people's accents. But there is this zombie-style outbreak, and he has to try and save his family. And I'm not going to give away too much of what happens, but man, is this a good movie. I literally never watch movies. I never take the time to see any kind of film whatsoever unless it is very, very significant. I got caught up in watching this while I ate Chinese food, and I finished my Chinese food, sat there, poured 3 cups of coffee, and I continued watching until the very end, like literally the final credits. I was over here watching this film. So if you want to check out Cargo from the producer of The Babadook, then you might want to check it out. It's on Netflix right now. If you have that, unlike Steffi, who has Hulu and Amazon Prime. But hopefully it will come out on DVD, because I would love to be able to rent this and show other people. It's fantastic. I love everything about it, and I will definitely be keeping my eyes on something else from this guy, because he does really good stuff. But it is Australian zombies, and Battlefield 1 is indeed better than Fortnite. But I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the night. I'm going to go get some sleep. I got about 3 hours of sleep last night, maybe 4 if we're being generous. It was not a good night for sleeping in my part of the woods, or in my part of the hood, if you will. So I'm going to be getting some of that sleep. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode of Fully Wired. We'll be back here on Mixer.com/Samuel Adams next week for another episode, and I will be live as soon as I get up in the morning for some video games. Spread the word, tell your friends. I'm excited about it, and this is a pretty good platform to begin growing a podcast/variety show thing on, so I'm excited about it, and I'll be getting more into it. But you guys have a fantastic rest of your night. I will talk to you very soon, and peace.